Most people think lasting change requires massive effort, strict willpower, huge goals, or dramatic resolutions. But time and again, those attempts fizzle out. We start strong at the gym in January, only to stop by February. We make big promises to eat healthier, quit bad habits, or be more productive, but somehow life gets in the way. BJ Fogg, a behavioral scientist at Stanford University, argues that we've been approaching change the wrong way. His book, Tiny Habits: The Small Changes That Change Everything, published in 2019, flips the script. The key to transformation, he says, is not willpower or motivation, but designing small, simple habits that grow naturally over time. By starting tiny, flossing just one tooth, doing 2 push-ups, drinking 1 sip of water, we remove resistance, create momentum, and allow success to expand. Small wins build confidence, and confidence builds lasting change. Welcome to 10-Minute Books, the channel where we break down the world's most powerful books into practical lessons you can absorb in just 10 minutes. Today, we're diving into Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, a book about how little actions, when repeated consistently, can transform your life. The Fogg Behavior Model. At the heart of Fogg's method is a simple formula. Behavior happens when motivation, ability, and a prompt come together at the same moment. In other words, B equals map. Motivation, your desire to do the behavior. Ability, how easy it is to do. Prompt, the trigger that reminds you. If a habit isn't happening, one of these 3 elements is missing. For example, if you want to exercise but the routine is too hard, your ability is too low. If you forget to meditate, you're missing a prompt. By adjusting motivation, ability, or prompts, you can design habits that stick. Why tiny works? Grand resolutions fail because they rely on unstable motivation. Motivation is like a wave. It rises when you feel inspired, then crashes when life gets stressful. Tiny habits don't need big motivation. They succeed because they're so small, so easy, that you can't fail. Think about it. Flossing 1 tooth is almost laughably easy, but once you floss 1, you often floss more. Doing 2 push-ups takes seconds, but it often leads to 10. Starting tiny creates a doorway to bigger wins. Anchor new habits to existing ones. One of Fogg's most practical tools is anchoring. Instead of relying on reminders or willpower, tie a new habit to something you already do consistently. For example, after I brush my teeth, I will floss 1 tooth. After I pour my morning coffee, I will do 2 squats. After I use the bathroom, I will drink a glass of water. Anchors turn existing routines into prompts for new habits, making them automatic. Emotions create habits. Here's one of Fogg's most surprising insights. Emotions, not motivation, create habits. Habits form when your brain associates them with positive feelings. That's why celebrating tiny wins is so powerful. Smile, say yes, or pump your fist after completing a habit. It might feel silly, but celebration wires your brain to associate the habit with success and satisfaction, making it more likely to stick. Redesign your environment. Fogg stresses that environment shapes behavior more than willpower. If you want to eat healthier, put fruit on the counter and hide junk food. If you want to exercise, lay out your workout clothes the night before. If you want to read more, place a book on your pillow. By making good habits easier and bad habits harder, you design success into your surroundings. Shine a light on success. Most people focus on failure. I didn't exercise today, I'm lazy. Fogg flips this. He encourages celebrating success, no matter how small. Did you floss 1 tooth? Celebrate. Did you drink 1 sip of water celebrate. Change grows when you focus on what you did right, not on what you missed. Untangling bad habits. Breaking habits is less about discipline and more about redesign. Identify the prompt that triggers the habit, then remove or replace it. For example, if you overcheck your phone, turn off notifications or keep it in another room. If you snack late at night, remove junk food from your kitchen. By eliminating triggers and rewards, bad habits fade naturally. Scaling habits naturally. Fogg emphasizes that tiny habits grow on their own. You don't need to force expansion. If you start with 2 push-ups, one day you'll feel like doing 5, then 10, then more. Success breeds success. The key is consistency, not intensity. Motivation myths. One of the book's big myths is that you need willpower to change. Fogg argues that willpower is unreliable. Instead, make habits so easy that you don't need motivation. If something feels hard, shrink it until it feels easy. The easier the habit, the more likely it is to last. Habits and identity. Tiny habits don't just change what you do, they change how you see yourself. When you consistently perform small habits, you cast votes for a new identity. Flossing one tooth proves you're someone who cares about dental health. Doing 2 push-ups proves you're the kind of person who exercises. Over time, these identity shifts compound. You stop trying to become healthier or more productive. You start being healthier and more productive. The role of success momentum. Tiny wins matter because they create momentum. Each small success makes you more confident, which makes the next habit easier. Over time, these small wins snowball into big transformations. Practical examples. People have used Fogg's system to transform their lives. Someone started flossing 1 tooth and ended up with daily dental care. A man who began with 2 push-ups eventually built a full workout routine. Families used tiny habits to eat healthier by starting with 1 extra vegetable per meal. The system works because it's flexible, forgiving, and focused on growth through success, not guilt. Criticism and balance. Some critics argue that tiny habits are too small to matter. But Fogg responds that tiny habits are seeds, small on the surface, but capable of growing into massive change. Others worry the method sounds too easy. But that's the point. Change should feel good, not punishing. Modern relevance. In a world full of stress, distraction, and failed resolutions, Tiny Habits offers a refreshing approach. It shows that you don't need to wait for motivation, New Year's Day, or the perfect moment. You can start tiny today and let success grow naturally. The big takeaway. Tiny Habits teaches us that real change doesn't come from giant leaps or bursts of willpower. It comes from small, consistent actions that feel easy and enjoyable. By starting tiny, anchoring new habits to old routines, celebrating success, and designing your environment, you can transform your life 1 small step at a time. The question is, what tiny habit could you start today that would change your life if you kept it for a year? That was Tiny Habits by BJ Fogg, broken down in under 15 minutes. Which idea resonates most with you anchoring, celebrating, or starting tiny? Share your thoughts in the comments below. And if you enjoyed this summary, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe to 10-Minute Books, and ring the bell so you never miss our weekly breakdowns of life-changing books. Thanks for watching, and remember, small is powerful. Start tiny and let change grow.